What's happening next is insanity. Let's talk about it. So we're entering the next phase. This war is being used to launch us into a whole new system, a whole new global system. And they just signaled that the next phase is now taking place. It's now starting. This is getting serious. This war is going to be used as the excuse for everything. And we are also going to see massive changes domestically as well. All right. And Putin right now is tightening the screws. He's not messing around. So we'll get to that in just a second. But just to start off domestically, okay, this is huge what the Congress and what Pelosi is pushing. So Pelosi has come out and said that the State Department needs to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terror, or they are going to have a vote on it in the House and do it themselves. This has extreme implications. There's less than 5 countries in the whole world that are state sponsors of terror, and it's the ones you think of, North Korea, Iran, Cuba, and it's extremely serious. All right, it means that funding for this country is extremely hard to get. It means that if other foreign powers trade with them, they are going to have restrictions too. They're going to be considered funding terrorism as well. This has huge ramifications. They are trying to put Russia in the category as North Korea or Iran. Okay? And the difference is with those countries, they don't have economies. They were already designated this and shut down before their economies were able to get large. Russia is a huge global economy. Trillions of dollars are at risk and trillions of dollars in resources. So just imagine these sanctions that we have on, very specific things coming out of Russia. Imagine that with everything coming out of Russia. And then imagine that anyone that wants to trade with Russia also gets restricted. So this is very serious that they are pushing this. This is almost a declaration of war. All right, what is Russia supposed to do? What would we do if China declared us a state sponsor of terrorism and they said anyone that trades with the United States, we will shut you down. We will no longer trade with you. We will no longer supply you with our massive supply chain and all of our goods. China has the cards. They could easily do this to anyone too. And they could do this to us. So we need to be very careful. This isn't like North Korea or somebody that we can push around a little bit. This is a big nuclear superpower, the most nuclear armed country in the world that could wipe us off the face of the planet. And we'll get to Putin in just a second because that's huge as well. But just the hypocrisy of it is just off the charts. We have pictures of John McCain when he was alive. We have pictures of him in Syria with the quote Syrian rebels. So they were denying that this was anyone ISIS related, but we all know the Syrian rebels are very suspect and sketchy, and a lot of them are possibly terrorists themselves. So we have pictures of John McCain going over there. We've funded billions of dollars to sketchy groups like this. We've funded, these Syrian rebels for years. We funded invading Libya and wiping out Gaddafi. Hillary joked about it and said, we came, he saw, and he died. And she heard about it on an interview, and then she started joking about it. She started laughing about it. She started saying, oh, wow, that's great. It's great this guy died. What did Libya do to us? Libya never attacked the United States, did they? I don't remember that happening. I don't remember when that happened. So we could be possibly accused of invading countries and toppling people too. Okay? And Libya was also going against the dollar as the world reserve currency. They were trying to set up their own gold standard Arab dollar and African dollar. There's a lot of speculation and questions around that as well, of possibly why he was taken out. That's obviously speculation, but there's a lot of it around that. So we could be accused of the same thing. All right, countries could bring the hammer down on us and say, hey, you're funding all these sketchy activities all around the world. All right, so this is serious. We do not want to join this fight. This is a declaration of war against Russia if we do this. All right, and Putin is already taking it serious. He's tightening the screws on Europe. He is apparently, we talked about before how there was this turbine locked up in Canadian sanctions, and the Nord Stream pipeline could not be turned on apparently, or it was running at much lower capacity. Well, now another turbine is not working. Very coincidentally, at the same time, it's worked for years and years. And then all of a sudden, when we're in this crisis, 2 turbines now. So a whole nother turbine. So the capacity was already at 40% of the pipeline. Now the capacity is at 20%. This is the main liquid natural gas pipeline that fuels Europe, fuels Germany. People are going to freeze to death. Europe saying, we're being blackmailed by Russia. We're going to have to implement gas sanctions. We're going to have to implement gas rationing for people because there's not going to be enough this winter. But at the same time, they are also implementing even more sanctions on Russia. They implemented sanctions on the gas in the first place. So it's just one of these things. We just keep digging the hole deeper. We just keep digging it even deeper. Now we're going to designate Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. This is not our fight. All right. Sadly, it's sad what's going on over there. I feel bad for the people that are suffering, because there are people suffering, but this is not our fight. This is not our fight. We should not be funding this, giving billions of dollars to this. It's collapsing the euro. People in Europe are going to have gas rationing and possibly freeze to death, some of them. And this isn't to mention when the harvests start rolling in this fall, okay? And we start seeing these very bleak harvests and bleak numbers from the reduced fertilizer that they've already had to do, not even through government force like we talked about yesterday, but that they've just had to do from the market because prices are so high. They've had to cut back because they can't afford to just use all their cash flow on fertilizer. When it doubles, triples, quadruples in price and they're fertilizing thousands of acres, this is a giant expense. It's one of your biggest expenses as a farmer is fertilizers. So this is not going anywhere. It's only going to escalate. They've already predicted in war models that a new war is going to break out in 2023. A new war. Okay? It's going to be even worse. A new war cycle. So that's what they're predicting, the quote for 2023. So if you guys like this kind of content, this prepper news, keeping you updated, keeping you informed on the big stuff going on in the world that they really don't even cover in mainstream media, they're trying to distract you with just like BS that doesn't even really matter. We cut to the heart of it. We cut to the big issues that are going to affect you right now, are going to affect you in the future, 6, 9, 12, 3 years, whatever, 12 months, 3 years out. So that's what we talk about here. So if you guys like that, please hit that sub. And if you really like it, hit that bell too for me. Thank you so much, guys. I love my audience. I'm super blessed to have you guys. You guys always just, whenever I think about you guys like watching me and the support I always get a big smile on my face. I'm just like, yes, I love you guys. Thank you. So you guys have a big, blessed day. And thank you so much.